Have you ever had life throw you a curveball that left you in such a state of fear that you were completely paralyzed? I can tell you I have, and it's no fun. Changes that come at us versus the ones that we initiate have a very different effect. For example, the woman that's diving off the cliff. We have no idea how long she stood there before she decided to dive. Maybe she needed a little push. Changes that come at us out of nowhere, though, can leave you completely disoriented, turning your world upside down and leaving you scrambling for footing just to find a solid foundation to move forward from. Now, organizations being made up of people have both of these scenarios. And today what I want to share with you are the who, why, how, and what of organizational change that when used together can help you move through a change effort rapidly. So let's dive in. Have you ever seen a school of fish or a flock of birds fly together as if they're one? It's a beautiful thing to see. And wouldn't you love it if your organization had that level of synchronicity and responsiveness? I would. When we start a change effort, often we're looking to our leadership, the people that are in the hierarchy of our organization that have their power because of their position, what we call legitimate power. Now, it's worth recognizing that there are other types of power in your organization, expert power, referential power, to name a few. This underground network of change agents that exists in just about every organization I visited is fantastic, especially when it comes to change, because those are the folks who the rest of your organization looks to in the middle of change to figure out where are we going. It would behoove us to engage this underground network of change agents as we move forward in any change effort. And engagement's so important to the success of any change effort. Why? Because it doubles our success rate. According to John Baldoni in a Harvard Business Review article he wrote in 2013, he finds that double the success rate is what you get with an engaged organization versus an organization where people aren't as engaged. Not only do you double the success rate, but you also get a 22% boost in productivity. Who wouldn't want that? On the flip side, though, I also want to illustrate another point here. When the organization isn't engaged, and maybe worse yet, incivil, there is a drastic impact in the opposite direction. Christine Perath and Christine Pearson, in their Harvard Business Review article, The Price of Incivility from 2013, illustrated that in incivil environments, employees 48% of the time when they have been affected by this incivility will reduce their work effort on purpose. Well, think about it. Makes sense, right? How motivated are you to go the extra mile when somebody's not been nice to you? They also found that 25% of the people will take it out on customers. Have you ever been on the receiving end of somebody else's bad day? As a customer, it certainly doesn't make you want to come back. Here's the kicker. 12% said they would actually just leave the company. Now, who do you think's leaving? Is it the folks that are, embracing change, or the folks who are change averse? I would guess that the people leaving are exactly the people you want to stay if you're looking to make a change effort stick. So, we've talked about the who. With your underground network, we've talked about why, because it doubles your success rate. Now I want to talk about how we engage these people once we've found them. And to illustrate this point, I want to share with you a conversation I had with Jason Clark, a change manager from Australia. Now, my entire interview with him is posted on my YouTube channel, so feel free to search it. But what I want to share is a couple of key points. See, Jason came to change management as a stage manager at age 19, which stuck him right between two different groups of people. The front of house, creative folks, and the back of house, who had to build sets and get things ready for opening day. And what he pointed out is that creative people think very differently. I look at this as divergent thinking. Divergent thinkers, innovative people, creative folks, they all are trying to get outside of that proverbial box and come up with new ideas that are unique. This is a process that's not always obvious. It takes time. It's a lot of thinking and visualizing, prototyping and revising before you're actually seeing a work product. Now, this group works best when paired with the convergent thinkers, people who are project managers, time, scope, budget. Let's get this pinned down to a project we can deliver on time. Now, convergent thinking, when paired together with divergent thinking, works best. And it's about the timing, what Jason called breathing. It's the shift between those two different states. I saw this too when I was developing training material. I had a team of people and we would converge on a set of material that we would build to deliver training. And then we would go out into the field with this new material and deliver it. And before you knew it, somebody had a new exercise or a new way of describing something. And when we embraced that and we brought it back together on purpose, what we found was not only did the material get better from these new things that were introduced, but as the team explained them to each other, they learned from it as well. This, when paired together, becomes organizational learning. It's that ebb and flow of divergence and convergence, and it's cyclic. So here's the trick. Don't let perfect get in the way of better, because there's always another round, a next step, or another change effort, another wave to catch, where you can improve it in the next iteration. The last point I'll talk about on how we engage these people is listening. Now, often people in your underground network can come off as a little negative. That's not because they really are. It's because they want to help you avoid the pitfalls that they're pointing out and the roadblocks that they want you to go around. They want to see it successful, so they're pointing it out so you can address it early. So listen to them. A few years ago, I had a friend ask me this question. He said, "What's the definition of a consultant?" And I said, "I don't know." He says, "I'll tell you. It's somebody who can go upstairs to the CEO, listen to their problem, then come back downstairs to the line employees and ask them how they would solve the problem, and then go back upstairs to the CEO and tell him what he heard." It's an oversimplification for sure. And I don't mean it to disparage consultants who do a fantastic job at being able to get around cultural barriers and political dynamics and really unlock change for an organization. Consultants do a great job of that. But it is true that solving the problem is often about listening to the people who are right in front of you. So if you're going to engage them, listen to what they have to say. So we've covered the who, your underground network. We've covered the why, which is engagement, getting you double the success rate. We've also talked about how you engage them. And what I want to do is pause for a second and share some information from a wonderful customer of mine, Jennifer Dietz at Financial Statement Services, who's implemented all of these approaches, and she had some interesting insight to share as well. She found that when you built a basic framework for decision making, and then you helped select the team, including divergent and convergent thinkers, they automatically were able to align the organization as they discussed different options. It also helped build a deep leadership bench. Now, authorship is ownership, and so there was also this level of ownership within the group itself, which built this wonderful momentum forward for change, fostering early communication, which, and here's the kicker, so nothing comes as a surprise. And this leads me to the fourth approach, which is what? What are we doing with all of this? It's all about good communication. So I believe that when you are building communications along the way, so nothing comes as a surprise, and here's the litmus, when you can tell everyone in the organization where they fit and how they're going to contribute in this new world order, it gives people the foundation they need to adopt change quickly. So we've talked about the who, the underground network. We talked about the why, which is double the success rate with engagement. How? By connecting divergent and convergent thinkers and listening to what they have to say. And what? A communication that gives everybody a foundation to move forward with. I'm Shaundra, and I am passionate about organizational change. I hope you're able to apply these principles and approaches in your organization, because I firmly believe that when you give people a foundation to move forward from, you will be surprised at what their organization is willing to dive into.